Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. So today's episode is a full review of the Victoria Beckham Estee Lauder collaboration collection. I took my time to go through every single piece that I purchased, which is everything that was new to this year's collection. I even went back to last year's collection in which I purchased all the pieces and did, little comparisons here and there, and I wanted to give you the most thorough review that I could do. So if you're interested in hearing my thoughts on this collection, then just keep on watching. Alright, so I'm going to start with, I'm kind of that person that always likes to hear bad news first, so I'm going to start with the things that I think are not worth it, that I think I just didn't like. I'll tell you why. And then I'll move into things that I like, but I don't necessarily feel like you need to run out and purchase. And then I'll talk about my favorites from this collection. So let me start with the bad news first. So first I have the Fired Crystal Lip Gloss. And when I first opened this up, I was so excited. Can you guys see like the slight holographic sheen to this? I thought, oh my gosh, this is gonna be the most beautiful lip topper ever. Let me go ahead and swatch that here for you. I don't even know if you can see it, because my problem with this, one, is the texture. It is very, very loose. You know how gloss has like a density, it has a certain thickness to it? This is very, very loose. So it's almost, watery. It's not quite watery, but it is more watery than most lip glosses. And so that slip, I don't really like. I feel like it just sort of messes up whatever it is I'm putting it on top of. And when I wear it alone, I just feel like I have something on my mouth. So I don't like the texture. Secondly, I don't think I have it actually over a lipstick right now. You don't see this effect. You don't see this really pretty, subtle, holographic effect on the lips. All it does really is kind of give you like a slight glossy finish. Like, it really doesn't do anything. So I was pretty disappointed in that, especially how pretty it looks in the tube. So I would say that this is a pass. The next thing I did not enjoy was the Ink Matte Eyeliner in Blackest. It's the one that comes in this packaging here, and I think the eyeliner itself is great. The formula is wonderful. You get a really black matte line, which I appreciate. However, I feel like whenever I open this up and I go to use it, I don't even have enough product on the brush to get a full line. It kind of stops midway, and then I have to dip it in and then kind of finish it. So for each eye, I'm probably dipping in and out maybe 4 or 5 times, and it's really annoying. Like, it's hard enough to do, a liquid eyeliner line, and so for me to have to kind of keep going back and forth is just super annoying. So I did not really like this, and I feel like because I'm going back and forth, like the line, it almost dries down a little bit too quickly, and so it kind of, I don't know, it just gets like messy. It just gets super annoying. So that's my one issue with this. The one thing that I haven't tried is actually using my own brush and just sort of dipping it into the well here and just see if I can pick up more product, because I don't know if it's this brush. I don't know if there's just not a lot of product in here. I'm not sure what the situation is. So anyway, that's my kind of beef with this particular product. So the next thing I would pass on is this eyeshadow duo. This is the Saphir Orange VIF duo, and the shadows, if you like blue and orange, this could be for you. I have it swatched here on my hand. You can see how the blue is like a little bit patchy, and that's with a pretty strong finger swatch. So when I applied it to my eye, it was a little dry feeling. It was a little bit patchy, but I think you could make it work. So that is not too big of a deal. The main issue that I have with this particular palette is these two colors. If you wear them together, you kind of have to wear them very separately. You can put the blue down and then you can put the orange down. But if you try and blend these two together, you really just get sort of a hot mess. So those were the 3 items that I would not recommend from this collection. The next group of products are things that I like, but again, I don't feel like you need to run out and get them. So let me start with the Skin Perfecting Powder. I think I got the most questions about this. Now, the packaging is undeniably beautiful. I feel pretty glamorous every time I pull this out. The powder itself, I have it on my face today. It works fine. I think it's a very lovely powder. I think it has a slight blurring effect, but I do have two issues with this particular powder. One, it's packed in way too hard. It's pressed too hard, or there's something up with the formula, but it's so difficult to pick up product with this. So I literally have to kind of go in with my brush where I feel like I'm really digging in, and that's good for maybe like one area of my face, and then I have to go in and do it again. And so, you know, I don't mind dipping in back and forth, but if I have to kind of work it in every single time, it just gets really, really annoying. The second thing that I'm not terribly fond of is I was hoping that this was going to be very translucent, and while it's not completely pigmented, I definitely feel like I see the powder. I see like this fine white powder over my skin, and so I don't think this is good for anyone probably darker than me, and I'm like a light, sometimes a light medium, and yeah, and I feel like I can see the powder on my skin, so I'm not particularly fond of that. So those are my thoughts on the skin perfecting powder. So next up, I have the two remaining eye duos. So this one is the Bleu, Electrique, and Nude. I found these two shades to be much easier to work with. I find that the two of these paired together make a bit more sense to me than the navy and the orange. And here I have, here's the Electrique color, and here's it next to the Saphir. So the Saphir is like a very nice navy, but I feel like if I'm going to wear blue eyeshadow, that I'm going to want something a little bit more fun with a little bit more pop. So I just like this blue a little bit more. I think this Nude is really great too as like a warm transition shade if you want to go ahead and give your eyes like a little bit more dimension and then just put this blue sort of all over your lid. I think this is a fun duo. If you're really into this blue color, I think this could be a fun addition to your collection. And then I also like the Noir Vanille duo for obvious reasons. I mean, this is just great. This is kind of the perfect duo to kind of enhance any other palette that you may have. I feel like the major complaint for a lot of eyeshadow palettes is that there isn't either a black or there isn't like a matte highlight brow bone shade. And so I've been using this sort of to enhance all of my other palettes. On its own, it's great if you just want to brush this all over the lid and then maybe you want to give yourself like a smoky eye with this. The formula is, it's matte, so it has a really lovely silky feel. And I feel like out of all three of the eyeshadow duos, this has the best formulation. The black and the vanille go on really smooth, not patchy at all. And here is a swatch. So here is the Noir, and you can't see the Vanille, but it's right next to it. It's like a perfect match for my skin. So anyway, I've been loving this on its own, paired with any of my other palettes. So the only reason why this didn't make it into my must-have, must-get is because these are pretty basic shades. It's just a black and like an off-white vanilla color. And yeah, and while I really like this, I don't think that it's especially unique. The other things I want to mention are the double-ended eyeliners. They are quite lovely. I have the Saphir Vanille, and this is like the navy, and then at the other end is the Vanille color. They're lovely eyeliners. They're incredibly soft, like super duper soft. They take a while to settle down. This is the Java, so this is the chocolate brown, and then again Vanille on the other side. And then what came out last year is the black Saffron and the Vanille, which is part of this year's collection, but I purchased this last year. So I like these eyeliners, but again, I don't think that there's anything terribly special about them. And for me personally, the Vanille side, it's a little bit, for me, a little bit too peachy for the waterline. So I don't use it for that. It doesn't have a brightening effect for me. It just looks like I put peach eyeliner on my waterline. So it looks a little bit odd for me. So in keeping with the eye theme, the Ink Mascara in Blackest. Here is what the tube looks like, and here is what the wand looks like. So when I first opened this up and saw the wand, I thought, oh no, I'm not gonna like that. I usually like a natural bristled, kind of fluffy big brush. But the more I thought about it and the more I used it, the more I actually liked it. It coated my upper lashes fine, and I thought it could be nice for the lower lash line as well. Now, if you guys have been with me for any amount of time, you know I have like the most pathetic set of eyelashes. So I do have it on my eyes today, and I tried applying it to my bottom lash line, but I literally have like 4 lashes along each bottom lash line. But what it does, I feel like, is give you length, but it doesn't give you that much volume. And when I first opened this up, and I feel like this happens with most mascaras, it always seems too wet for me. It's like they have to get old a little bit. And so just now when I put it on, I liked it the most. Previously when I used it, I just felt like it was too wet, and I just had to like kind of, you know, not blink for a while to make sure it didn't smudge or whatever. But today I really liked it. It's been open now for a couple weeks. I've used it maybe 5 or 6 times now, and I like it. So I like this mascara, but I don't think this is like legendary. I don't think that this is like, you know, innovative in any way. It's just, it's very nice. All right, so moving down the face. This is the Cheek Cream in Blonde Mink. Now, this is basically it's a cream blush. I really enjoy this. I think the texture is really lovely. It has pretty decent staying power. My only hesitation with this is that, I don't know if it's coming across on film, but let me see if that helps a little bit. But it is incredibly warm, where it's almost like it's orange. So when I put it on, it is incredibly warm. And so I feel like it doesn't necessarily go with a lot of this collection, if that makes sense. A lot of it is like black and gray and, you know, sparkly, and, you know, the lip color that I have on, which I'll talk about in a bit, is, again, it's a very cool color. So while I really like this cheek color, I don't know, I feel like it doesn't really go with the rest of this collection unless you are very warm skin tone, and then this will be very neutral for you, or if you're just really into that blue orange, that Saphir orange eye shadow look. Other than that, everything else is pretty cool toned. So again, while I like this very much, I feel like I have to like disassociate this from like the rest of the collection and like put it with like a warmer eyeshadow palette or something, and then I'll reach for it more. But that's my only complaint about it, is that I feel like it kind of just sticks out of this collection. All right, next I'm gonna move into lips. So I have the 2 lipsticks, Victoria and Black Cassis. There's a third lipstick, Burnished Rose, which I had ordered from Bergdorf, but before my SA was able to ship it out, I told her to just hold it, because while I like these lipsticks, they're fine. Like, I really like this Victoria color. I have the Black Cassis color on right now. Let me just show it to you in the tube here. Here's the Black Cassis color. My issue with these is that they're just not very special. And to be perfectly honest, I have fallen madly and deeply in love with the Pat McGrath lipsticks, and I'm just reaching for those. So these don't really measure up in my mind to the Pat McGrath lipsticks. So there's Black Cassis and there's Victoria. So while the colors are really lovely, I have absolutely no problem with them. The formula is very nice. They are matte, but I don't feel like they're especially drying. I just haven't been reaching for them because I don't think that they're special enough, if you will. And the last thing I want to mention in this particular category of mine is the VB Aura Gloss in Honey. Now this is a gloss with a little bit of glitter in there, and you'll definitely see the glitter kind of show up wherever you put it. And this can be used sort of like, you know, highlight, eyes, most definitely the lips. I like it for the lips. I don't think the glitter is fine enough to kind of use as a highlight on my cheeks or to kind of gloss up my eyelids. The glitter is, you'll see like the little glitters. You know when you take glitter eyeshadow off and then you have that glitter left over? That's the effect that this has. So I don't know, I don't feel like there's enough glitter, or I don't feel like they're fine. It's fine enough so that it gives me like a nice sort of, you know, kind of sparkly sheen. It just sort of looks like you're putting like kind of random glitter on your face. So I don't mind it on the lips. I think that kind of gives my lips like a little something. But on the face and on the eyelids, I definitely wouldn't use it for that. So I like this. But again, I don't think you need to like run out and get it. I just think it's very pretty and it's a nice addition to this collection. All right, so on to the things that I think if you want to get, you should definitely get. I love them. I use them often. I'm sad that they're limited edition. So let me start with the Morning Aura Illuminating Cream. You guys have heard me talk about this now for more than a year because I first purchased this with last year's collection and I absolutely love it. It is perfect for like the fall, winter when personally my skin starts to look really, really dull. This just gives it a lot of life. It gives you that kind of, I keep saying this and I feel stupid saying it, but it's something Victoria Beckham says. It gives you that sweaty, sexy glow. So this has the most glow out of all of my illuminating primers. It gives me like the wettest look. And I don't mind that sometimes. It also is a cream. So if I am in time-saving mode and I don't have time to moisturize, this actually works as both. So I just really, really love this. I even have a backup of it. I'm sorry, I'm realizing how dirty and disgusting this bottle is, but I really love this. I highly recommend this. Next is the Modern Mercury highlighter. I can't get enough of this. This is another thing I have a backup of. I have it on my cheeks today, and I find that when I use this particular highlighter, because it is so warm, I don't need a blush. So if I use like a contour, if I use a bronzer, and I have like the warmth on my face, and then I add this on as a highlight just on the tops of my cheeks, I don't need a blush. Like I don't have a blush on today because it adds enough warmth there and gives my cheeks enough dimension that I don't need that blush for pop. So I love this highlighter. It gives you like a really wet look. This appeared in my top 5 favorite highlighters because I think the color is so special. I think it works for a lot of skin tones. Probably not if you're really, really fair. You may want to use it as a blush topper, but I think it's just gorgeous. So this I would run out and get as well. And then the 2 bronzers I really enjoy. Now, obviously the bronzer tone will totally depend on your skin tone. So I'm a light medium. I have warmish undertones. I'm pretty neutral. So I can go kind of either way, but I really like a warm bronzer. So the Java Sun bronzer was the original bronzer that came out last fall. Here is what it looks like. And it is the darker of the 2. This one is Saffron Sun, which I believe came out when they re-released the collection a bit, like this last winter. And so this one is a little bit lighter. Now, I went shopping with a girlfriend of mine, and she's a little bit darker than me. She's probably like just a medium skin tone, and these bronzers did not work on her. They did not show up on her skin tone. So if you're any darker than me, this is not gonna work too well for you. But I love them both. I use the Java Sun in the areas that you would contour, and then I use the Saffron Sun as like an all-over bronzer if I just sort of want to warm up my entire face. So that's sort of what I did today. And they're matte, they're easy to use, they blend really well. I love the formula. I love how it comes off on my skin. It's just a really great everyday bronzer combo for me. So love these. And then next, I love, love, love these eye metal eyeshadows. So I have last year's Bitter Clove, which is just absolutely stunning. It is this like taupey, metallic, slightly glittery shade. I think it's just so much fun. It's like the perfect fall, winter, evening look. And paired with the Black Myrrh Eye Ink, this is the black eyeshadow with a bit of glitter. It's so pretty. This one also has a lovely sheen to it. So there's the black ink, and there is the Bitter Clove. I don't know why I swatched them on this rear part of my hand, sorry. So here's Bitter Clove, here is Black Myrrh. I'm a little bit sad that they did not come back out with the Charred Emerald, which was from last year's collection, but this one I thought was so special. It was such a beautiful green, and it was just wonderful. But anyway, what they did instead was they came out with Blonde Gold this year, and here it is. So the formula on this one this year is a little bit chunkier than the Black Myrrh and the Bitter Clove. Now, mine are from last year. I'm assuming that this year's are the same. If any of you out there have both, for whatever reason, let me know if they are different. I think they're the same. But the Blonde Gold is definitely a little bit more chunky. I don't know if you'll be able to see that, but it has a beautiful effect. I hope that's coming across on camera, but there it is right underneath the Black Myrrh. But it's so pretty, and if you want to wear all three of these together for like a holiday party or a really dramatic maybe Halloween party, I think they're magnificent. I just love these single shadows. They're so good. We're getting close to the end here. All right. I also, for eyes, I also love this eyeshadow quad. Now, this appeared in my September favorites. I've been using it a lot. I have it on my eyes today. I have all 4 colors on. I have the gray laid down sort of as a transition shade. I have the Bordeaux color laid down all over close to my lash line and kind of all over my lid. And then I used the black as a liner, and I used the this Blanc color as like an inner corner. The gray color is very, very sheer. But I like that it's sheer. I don't think I would want like an overly pigmented gray eyeshadow on my eyes. I don't think that that would be incredibly flattering. But let me swatch these for you. They are incredibly buttery, and this Blanc color is like this really insanely reflective, wet looking white satin color. It's so beautiful. So here are my swatches. Sorry, they're a little bit messy, but here's the black color, the Bordeaux, the gray is in there, and then the Blanc. So the gray is the sheerest out of them all, but it is slightly buildable. I don't think you'll ever get something super highly pigmented and opaque with this gray color, but I think it blends in really, really nicely. I think it gives my lids just enough dimension. It kind of gives you a really nice wash of a cool tone if you're kind of getting ready for like a cool palette for your eyes. I use my finger for the Bordeaux. It goes on beautifully, and then I just use like a stiff, straight brush, and I apply the black shadow as liner. So I have it underneath my eyes here and along my lash line on the top, and I just really love it. I love this eyeshadow palette, and the colors in here are exactly like the mood that I'm in for fall. I think this is what I'm thinking, what I want to wear. I just think it's really, really beautiful. I was going to do a demo of this eye look for you, but this video was going to be super long to begin with. So if you want a separate one for that, I can show you, but it really is just a matter of like, you know, brushing the gray on, tapping the burgundy on, putting the white in my inner corner, and lining my eyes with the black. Like literally, that's it. But let me know. Let me know if you want a demo on that. I'd be happy to do it for you. And then I love the Smudgy Matte Eyeliner in Graphite. I have it along my upper lash line on top of the black eyeshadow. I just think this is so super cool. It has the most unique texture. It has the most unique finish. I love how easy this is to use. I just swiped it right underneath the white color here. So that is the Smudgy Matte Eyeliner. It has just a hint of sparkle in it. It's kind of powdery, but it spreads really evenly. It's like a powdery cream. It's so cool. It's like the most unique thing I've ever used, and I just love it. I think if you kind of lay this applicator, which is kind of like a flexible sponge tip applicator, if you just lay it flat and just run it across your eye, you'll get a really lovely, even, fast eye, you know, kind of a smoky eye look. Really, really easy to use. I love this. In fact, I may get a backup of this. The next 2 things that I really love from this collection are the 2 eye foils. So they come in these pots. which are really great. And then one is Blonde Gold and one is Burnt Anise. You really only need a teeny tiny bit, and you can just spread that all over your, why do I keep doing that? So here's the Blonde Gold. Isn't that sheen just stunning? You can use this just one swipe over your eyelid, maybe add like a liquid black eyeliner, maybe add that smudgy black eyeliner, gray eyeliner, and just sort of add like a little accent, and you have like a really easy holiday look. This ends up being like a really beautiful, like gray, deep grayish silver. It's so beautiful. So the Blonde Gold is great because that has a gold, and this Burnt Anise has like the silvery tones. Oh, it's just gorgeous. Less is definitely more. You do not need a lot of it. And if you want to use it as kind of like a topper over your eyes or kind of in the center of your eye, really just tap. Really just tap. If you kind of spread them around, I was doing that in the beginning, it really kind of makes it very, very messy. It kind of starts to get everywhere. But if you just sort of tap it gently where you want it and just leave it, let it do its thing, you'll just fall in love. I think they're just really, really beautiful. And then I think this is it. I think these are my last two products here. So I love the Victoria Lip Crayon. This is one of my favorite things from last year's collection. It's just an awesome color. It's an awesome texture. Someone mentioned to me that they thought that the color was different from last year's, and I find that the color is like a little bit different, and I happen to like this year's even more. So this is this year's and this is last year's. So this year's is a little bit cooler, which I like, which I appreciate. The formula, however, when I went and let me see if I can show this to you. When I used a makeup remover and went to wipe them both off, last year's seemed to be a little bit more stubborn. So I thought, oh, you know, is it not going to be quite as long lasting? Because that was one thing I really liked about last year's lip liner. But it actually lasted, this year's lip liner actually lasted me all day. I had it on with the Victoria lipstick. The lipstick started to wear obviously in the middle of my mouth, but the lip liner was there like all day. I had no problems with it at all. So there probably is a little bit of a different formula going on, but I find that the wear is just as nice, and I actually like the color a teensy bit more, so I'm happy with it. But just be aware, it is not exactly the same as last year's. And then last but not least, this also made an appearance in my favorites. This is the lip gloss in Desert Heat. I just love this color. It is like just a really beautiful, neutral lip gloss color. It has just enough sheen. It has just enough stickiness, not too much, but it makes me feel like it's there and it's going to stay in place. I do miss last year's packaging. So here is last year's lip gloss, and it came in, I think what's more typically used for like concealer or highlighter, but it's one of those clicky pens with the brush at the end. And I really liked this, so they used a more traditional packaging for their lip gloss this year, which is not horrible, but I really like this. The Moroccan Heat from last year is warmer than this year's, so it actually works better with the Victoria lip pencil from last year, and this one works better with the Victoria pencil from this year. So that's it. I think I got everything. I hope I got everything. Let me know if I missed anything. I don't think I did. I hope this video was helpful. I hope it's not too late. I know the collection's been out for a while, but I really wanted to give a lot of thought to this and wear everything at least a couple of times. So it just took me a while to get through everything because there was quite a few things. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video. Please give it a thumbs up if you did. Please comment down below if you picked up any of these things, what your thoughts are. I'm really curious to hear other people's thoughts because there haven't been a lot of videos out on this collection. And please ask me any questions that you have. I feel like I always forget to mention something when I do these videos. And please subscribe down below. I'll see you in my next video.